Hello, everybody. Happy New Year again. It is January 2, 2025, the second day of the year. It's almost 7:30 p.m. here in Windsor, Canada. So, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this live or replay from. Again, I'm Arian here, and I'm currently living here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, together with my husband and two young boys. Um, and I am an IT analyst by profession and also a proud digital business owner. And in this online business, I help ambitious, hardworking career parents take back control of their life and have more time with their family and kids by starting this legitimate digital business. So that's my mission. So today, yeah, for the past few days, we have actually discussed some very interesting topics, right? About business, about personal development, and a whole lot of other things. But I haven't even discussed about this book yet. So today, I am going to give you 5 key takeaways from The Gift of Fear book by Gavin de Becker. So, just a little background. I believe I first heard about this book from Miss Tony Gonzaga, who is a Filipina actress and host. And I got really interested about about this book because it talks about how to tackle fear, and actually, it's not just fear of it's not like the fear that we think about when we think about public speaking or being scared with very common things. This is actually discussing about the most dangerous situations, the fear that we feel in most dangerous situations. And actually, the words could be brutal. It could be, how do you call this? Maybe unrestricted or very transparent, very open. So I don't really recommend it to younger ones, like teenagers, unless you know that your teenager can really take on that type of I don't know, maybe in movies, if you translate it, it could be gore, something like that. So, yeah, it's up to you. But I suggest that you read it first before you hand it over to your teenager or your younger daughters or sons. But it's also important that they learn about these things just so they could be safe out there, even when you are not around with them. So, what I learned about though is that um, this book also has like another, I don't know, it's not a sequel, but it's another book from Gavin de Becker, which is for the younger ones, for kids and for teenagers. And I'm not sure if I have it here, but I think it has a different title. So the original book, the original title is The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. But for the kids and teenagers, it's Protecting the Gift, Keeping Children and Teenagers Safe. Safe. And parents sane. So, and it's from the same author. So that's it. And I really suggest that you read this because it's a one of a kind book. It's not like the other personal development or self-help books, because this one can really save your life actually. So without further ado, let's get it started. So let me ask you first. Have you ever had that feeling in your gut that something wasn't right, and then you try to shrug it off or brush it off only to regret it later? So I guess I've experienced it a couple of times before as well. But now I guess I know more, so I know better. And for me, intuition is really very important. Is a really very important part for me in making decisions. So imagine how you can turn your inner voice, your gut feel, your intuition into your strongest guide, right? Well, not just in life, actually not just in business, but in life in general, right? And the gift of fear isn't just a book about safety. It's about learning to trust yourself and, spot the signs, and make decisions with clarity. And today we are going to uncover these lessons that can help you build your life, your business, or whatever aspect of your life with confidence and intuition. So, just a little background about Gavin de Becker, and why I am really um, amazed by this book is because he also has a very, I guess, vulnerable and interesting story. But that is for you to read because it's included in the book. And he is a renowned security specialist and author who is best known for his expertise in predicting and managing violence. Okay. So he has a firm that provides security consulting and protective services to high profile individuals. So imagine those documentaries that you you watch in Netflix, something interesting like that, and they are the ones investigating those kind of situations of crimes, things like that. So it's to me personally, I got interested because it's he was transparent with the stories of his clients as well. So it's real life examples in there. And that's what made it interesting for me. So he also contributed to shaping policies on public safety and domestic violence, serving on advisory boards and influencing laws designed to protect victims. Through his work, De Becker emphasizes empowerment, helping people to take control of their safety through awareness and trust in their inner voice. So, if you're really interested, because again, this book might really save your life, read this book. Okay. So today I'm gonna give you 5 major key takeaways from this book. Um, yeah, so if you're interested, stay with me until the end. So yeah, so I might just give value to you even if you haven't read the book yet. Yeah, so the first major key takeaway is to listen to your gut or trust your intuition. And I know a lot of people don't rely on their guts or their intuition or their like initial feeling, but it's actually your internal compass. If you have read books or probably watched what you call this, like a documentaries about ancient communities, they actually rely on their intuition when during the time that there's no um, advanced technology yet. They people, the older people or maybe ancient people, rely on their gut or instincts to live, right? So so it just makes sense that our gut instinct is often right. But if we are not aware, if we're not feeling our if we're not aware on how we feel that gut feel or intuition, it's difficult for us to identify if it's telling us something, right? So for example, if you are facing a deal with a partner or another business owner, but it doesn't feel right for you or it feels off, then why not just ignore it, right? Why not trust that instinct? Because it might be saying or telling you to back off because you're safer that way, right? So it's often the first line of defense for us. against poor decisions or harmful opportunities. So, again, your gut is actually there to protect you. If you think that something feels off, something is not right, in any situation, actually, and if you are aware of how you are feeling, what you're feeling, you can better manage the situation in a safer way, right? So that's number one. Listen to your gut or trust your intuition. So second key takeaway is pay attention to red flags or respect the warning signs. And in every situation, I had a lot of this. Um, I actually have experienced a lot of things when I was in college. Being away from home, like I commute like 2 to 3 hours back and forth, and sometimes I go home late at night because I have night classes as well. And there are a lot of dangers happening around us, around me during that time, that if had I not known how to manage my intuition, my gut feel, the red flags, the warning signs, I felt I would probably have been in danger more than more than that, like a lot of times. So in the book, it actually emphasizes that we often ignore subtle signals, right? Especially when you are in danger, because it's like you're too overwhelmed. Maybe if you are already having a panic attack, it's so difficult to think properly, right? In the book, it explains there why we need to be aware of our surroundings, why we need to be alert. For example, in looking for, or when you have a business, or in looking for a business, right? Sometimes there are signals or patterns that could also be red flags. For example, when you are having mergers or collaborations, when you're signing contracts, or even about the health of the business as well, financial health, right? And sometimes, if you are working with a partner, there could be someone that, a person who keeps on missing deadlines, or who avoids, paying on time. Of course, those are already red flags, right? Warning signs. But sometimes when they are your friend or close friend, you choose to ignore those signs, right? And I hope that if you experience that kind of situation, you won't regret that in the end, because it also tarnishes the relationships that we have, right? Wherein we can actually handle it better, or properly, than just resulting to having fights or those kind of things. So yeah, so we really have to pay attention to the warning signs, to the red flags that we recognize. And again, addressing these types early on can save us from bigger troubles, right? Bigger issues down the road. So that's number two. Pay attention to red flags. Number three, fear can actually help us prepare. So I know that could be contradicting, but fear is not the enemy. It's actually a good or positive information, because instead of letting it stop us, instead of letting fear stop us from doing what we really want to do, what we have to check out for ourselves, right? We can use it as motivation to get ready. I mean, we can use that to like protect ourselves, guard ourselves, but at least still go through that situation. Know what I mean? Because of course we cannot be paralyzed by fear, right? So we can use fear to actually evaluate risks wisely. So, for example, if you are a business owner and you are trying to launch a product, and maybe you are scared or fearful that it won't go out as planned in the market, right? So why not, take time to test it thoroughly, try to gather feedback from a lot of people so that you can launch confidently. And right now, there are a lot of ways that you can do testing like that. So there could be tools that you haven't explored yet. So if you are fearful, you can take those opportunities so that you can face the fear and have a better outcome, right? So how do we really know that we feel fearful or scared? Because sometimes we just, okay, I'm scared, I don't want to do this, we try to avoid things, right? But again, we want fear to be transformed into motivation, right? So how do we know that we are feeling fearful or scared? Of course, we have physical signs, right? Like sweaty palms, increased heart rate, or sometimes we're shaking or trembling or sweating, and sometimes shortness of breath, right? So sometimes also when we feel scared, what I mentioned earlier, we try to push back, we try to avoid situations, we overthink situations, overanalyze, and so most of the time we try to imagine the worst possible outcome. And so when we think of that, we say, oh, no, stop, I don't like this. Even if we haven't completely did our due diligence yet, or we haven't completely checked out things yet. So that's when we know that we're fearful or scared. And so, if you know that that is approaching, if you feel that it's beginning to it's beginning, or your body's beginning to feel more fearful or scared, you just recognize those signs. And when you are aware of those signs, it helps you um, take a step forward and face your fears. And I know that it could be a lot of effort, especially when you are facing your biggest fears, or when you are in fight or flight mode, or maybe if you are in a life or death situation. But um, try to close your eyes if you can, just breathe deeply and think of an idea how you can control the situation. Which part of the situation can you really control, so that you can at least take a little step forward, so that you can move forward and out of that situation. So it doesn't matter whether it's a life or death situation, or a very dangerous situation. Well, what you want to think about is, what areas of that situation can you control in yourself or by yourself, so that you can at least take a little step forward and move, right? So that's number 3. Fear is your friend, and it can help you prepare. It's not an obstacle. So, number 4, be aware of what's happening around you. If you are aware, right? Again, awareness is the very first step, right? If you are a person who really hates surprises, you can probably just stay informed, so that you don't face, surprises, or you're not caught off guard if you don't really like those the feeling of being in those kind of situations. And you just have to be involved, be aware. And again, it's not just about physical safety, right? It's about staying alert in your environment, whether in your physical environment, business environment, in your company, when you're employed, in your project, in your small group, you know, you have to be aware what's around you, what's going on around you, what's in your environment. And for example, when if you are in a business like us, we're in digital business or online business, we want to at least be aware of our market, what's the age group of our audience, what's our target market, who do we want to engage with, our competition as well. And of course, in any business, we need to be aware of the potential threats. In project management, we actually do assessment of those risks, right? And there are also tools that we can use to properly assess or properly review the risks or potential threats or risks that we may face when we are in business. And because of that, because of those tools, when you use those tools, we can be or we can work smarter and we can make more empowered choices or decisions in the future, right? If you are familiar with SWOT analysis, and I know it has been uh, always been an assignment, a homework, or a project for high school or college students. I've used that a lot of times before, and it's really very helpful. It's also one of the ways that you can assess risks or threats in any situation. So of course, when we are embarking on a journey, an endeavor, we want to take calculated risks. We don't want to be stuck in wherever we are currently at. And those tools in assessing, calculating risks, threats, issues, potential outcomes, that could help us so that we can make proper and legit decisions, right? So that's how it can help us. We have to be aware. We have to know what's happening around us. And the last but not the least, let's we need to set boundaries, because remember, you are always in control. Whatever it is, whatever situation it is that you are currently at, you are always in control. You are the higher power because you are a human, a smart human that thinks and has emotions, right? You are not just any animal, you are a human. And in the book, it actually highlights that we have the power to set our own boundaries and make our powerful choices to actually protect ourselves. When you are a business owner, it actually translates into standing firm on your own values, your mission, your vision, saying no when necessary. This is actually one of the learnings, that I had to remember every time, because I'm used to saying yes all the time. But when you're in business, you need to know when to say no, right? And not let others dictate your path or your worth. Okay, so for example, in our digital business, in our own business, we are our own boss, right? And of course, if you are running your own business, you don't let others to take advantage of you. Sometimes if we have friends, close friends, and if we have like a probably a retail business or we're selling stuff online, sometimes they would ask us for huge discounts because they're our close friends. And in business, you don't have to always say yes to that, right? Especially when you're a startup, or when you're just starting your business. It could be it could be a situation that puts you in the, I mean, you are not empowered when you are saying yes to that, right? So you are your own boss. You have to be empowered, especially when you're running your own business, and you have a strong mindset as well, right? So the key to that is you have to set your boundaries and communicate them well. You have to let them know, because they won't understand unless you say it straight to their face, right? So that's it. Those are my 5 key takeaways from the Gift of Fear book by Gavin de Becker. And these takeaways actually encourage a mindset of awareness, of courage, of self trust, right? All essential traits of having a successful life in general. If you're running a business, a successful entrepreneur, right? And in business, just like in real life, our instincts are there to protect us, right? It's there to guide us, to help us grow, and when we often listen to them and respect the signs and take actions, we are not just avoiding the risks. We are actually paving the way for success. Again, if we don't move from where we are stuck, and we don't actually achieve success in being stuck, right? We know that. So we cannot live in fear, right? Remember that. We cannot live in fear. Fear is not a stop sign, okay? It's actually a nudge to to be prepared so that we can take control of our life. And because if we live in fear, we actually we limit our own growth, and we waste a lot of opportunities. We don't even recognize we're losing a lot of opportunities, and it actually robs us of real joy, or genuine joy or bliss, right? Because we live in fear. So ultimately, fear can actually be a barrier to freedom, time, and financial freedom, right? And so the next time that we feel that fear is whispering, you know, you feel that whisper of doubt and warning, maybe you don't have to ignore it. Because again, fear is normal. It's a normal feeling, a regular feeling that we feel because we are humans. And, it just might be the key to unlocking our best self, our best version of ourselves, if we know how to recognize that fear and transform it, and transform it into courage, and have an empowered life, right? So yes, it's okay to be scared, right? But make sure that you acknowledge it, you recognize the fear, use it as a signal, and move forward anyway. And you may be able to use these takeaways, the learnings from the book. It can actually save your life in the future. So I really hope that you take the time to read the book. I'm not promoting it. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not affiliated in any way with Gavin de Becker or the book, but it really is a great book. A lot of learnings, golden nuggets that you can get. So yeah, so if you are not living in fear, I believe it is actually the only way to build a life that you really want, that you truly want. So I hope you can conquer that fear of yours this 2025, so that you can you can start actually, and live your best life. Yeah, so that's it from me. I hope you got something from that, and I really recommend you to read the book and have it read by the other book, have it read by your kids, right? So if you're ready to check out our digital business, And don't worry, in this digital business, you don't have to be scared. I know that it could be scary, but you don't have to be because it's legit. It's federal tax registered. You don't have to worry about legitimacy in here. And I guess in my personal experience, the only thing that I was scared about is myself, like if I won't be able to sustain it. But a year, I started this a year ago, a little over a year ago, and here I am still doing it because I really love what I saw in there and what I'm doing, currently doing right now. And I'm loving my mission again, which is to help career parents and families take back control of their life and their time, and so they could have financial freedom and time freedom and take back control of their life through this digital business. So if you're interested to check it out, do your due diligence. Just register your name and email address in my website below, ariangill.com. Enter your full name and email address, and I will send you the link to our free info session. And once you decide that you want to know more about it, you're getting curious what is inside, how do we really earn in here, just pay the $149 refundable fee. Within 30 days, you can check out what this business is. So you don't really start doing the business in day one after after the $149. It's only for you to check out what details are inside, what company are we affiliated with, what are their products, and how do we really earn here, what's the compensation structure, compensation plan, the roadmap itself, what are the automated systems that we have here, who are our mentors and coaches that are trained well so that we can ensure success in this business. So if you want to see all of that, you just have to pay the $149 refundable fee. Again, if you think that what you saw doesn't resonate with you, you don't like it, then just let us know and we'll refund 100% back to you. So that's it from me, and I hope you will join me again in my next live tomorrow. God bless everyone. Good night and bye for now.